There it is.
That is it. That is it.
That used to be the Christmas tree right there. This is the bathroom we stayed in.
I see it. That's a tornado? That's big.
If you guys can hear me, my phone's about to die, but I'm lost of words right now, guys. I'm inside of a house. I'm inside of a kitchen right now. I am looking at this mayhem. I'm so lucky I still have a house. You guys take care and good luck. I gotta deal with whatever now.
Here you see more leveling of homes and debris, VHS tape, Christmas lights, clothing, some wood beams and things like that. Hi, sir. Hey, we're just out getting some pictures today. Do you want to talk to our Facebook Live audience? Do you live in this? Do you want to do that?
I can do that.
Okay, I'm going to unplug the. Can you guys? Okay. All right. Right.
I've already walked looking for a lot of stuff.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Frank, I'm going to come back and talk to you some more here in a minute if you don't mind. I'm going to get some more pictures. So an uprooted tree here, and then you see the damage to this truck. This red vehicle, this red truck right here, and completely, I'm sure, totaled this vehicle. And there's a wood beam through the tire. And Miss Rebecca said a sweet smile was a nice break from the sadness this morning. And you are very right. He was a very sweet man, and he was seeing it perhaps on national news. We have a lot of people that have power out though, and they're having issues kind of figuring out what's going on. People that live here in Bowling Green. I had a call from my aunt this morning, lives in the Ventry area. She's like, what's going on? You know, like they didn't have power. They weren't able, they knew something. Obviously we had a severe weather event, but they had no idea the scope of the damage here. And you guys just see all this debris. I mean, this is a huge mess, an overturned. That looks like a cattle trailer to me in the distance. I don't know if I can zoom in on Facebook Live or not. Just a ton of damage. So a lot of, you see the bricks here once made, walls of a home, but it's all been leveled. We do know that there are fatalities. We've heard there are as many as 50 fatalities. That's across the state of Kentucky. Now, I'm not talking about just here in Bowling Green. We do not have a hard and fast number on that right now. There was a press conference this morning with
This was Sandberg Lake Road. Jesus.
No, I'm not. No. I'm not.
paper is gone. Just pulled up Bremen. Came out to see my big dad. And we're talking right beside his boy's house. Yep. That's only a front porch. All my PSI boys are up here. There's Merle's house. Praise the Lord, they got out good. Only some cuts and scrapes, but his son broke his arm. So.
This is on the lake, and we are just walking through, and the damage is just unbelievable. I cannot believe what these folks have gone through and what they're going to go through. It will take them years to rebuild.
Close to Moore's tomorrow.
This is Ray's wife.
Oh, okay. Well, we may go over
And,
there and do that then while we
It's
leave
just,
before
it's
we
just
leave.
unbelievable.
Here.
You can look and see these vehicles over here. It's crazy what they've gone through. I'm going to walk out here toward the lake. I'm actually standing in this guy's house. Here's his kitchen with no roof, as you see. Kitchen pretty much remained intact. And he was hunkered down in his basement. And as you can see, these are the stairs going down to the basement. He was able to come up after the tornado went through. He was able to come up out of the basement, and there was nothing blocking his way getting out of the basement. So he was very fortunate that his way wasn't. This is Cambridge Shores in Gilbertsville, Kentucky, right outside of Benton. It's on the lake, and it's just house upon house on house of damage, destroyed. People trying to go through to see what belongings can be salvageable. Mostly nothing. As you can see, though, an occasional house, and we'll see right up here that this house was not touched, or does not appear to be touched at all. It's just right across the street, and it is fully intact.
Yeah,
It's
pontoon boat and everything.
crazy. And this side of the street,
Hey, man, it's unbelievable where we're at. I just talked to Ray Coffey. He's a retiree from 550. There you go. Wrecked totally both of the car, all three of the cars. It's unbelievable. Gerald's taking video, and when we get a place where we can download it, we'll send it to you.
this is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
He can't find his riding lawnmower. It's probably in the lake somewhere behind him.
See that car right there? It looks like it was picked up and moved.
Yeah, and then people's put
This house is completely gone from the foundation.
Mayfield, Kentucky tornado. It has destroyed everything in its path. Destroyed.
Damn, cool look.
All the windows are busted out. She looked happy every time. Happy.
Every window blowed out.
It's this one right here.
Golly, Bill.
On the evening of December 10th, 2021, a worrying combination of atmospheric conditions would lead to a devastating outbreak of tornadoes across the Mississippi and Ohio River valleys. Its consequences would shake the region to its core and leave everything in its path unrecognizable. One of the tornadoes in this outbreak would be particularly devastating, leaving untold devastation, injuring hundreds and claiming the lives of 57. An unseen monster masked by the darkness of night. Today, we discuss the Mayfield tornado. The morning of December 10th seemed no more exceptional than the days prior, aside from some unusually warm and pleasant weather for what was supposed to be winter. Many residents were carrying on with their daily activities, preparing for the upcoming holidays. However, unseen to the average person, the building blocks of a major disaster are assembling above their heads. A deep, upper-level trough is moving in from the west. As it crosses the Rocky Mountains, a surface low develops and starts to drift northeast. As it does so, unseasonably warm and moist air is being drawn in from the Gulf of Mexico. Dew points across the warm sector soar into the mid to upper 60s, with temperatures breaking records for December. This contributes to Cape values of 1,500 to 2,000 joules per kilogram. Winds in the warm sector change rapidly in both intensity and direction with altitude, leading to a strongly sheared environment. The intense wind shear and ample instability are forming an environment favorable for the formation of long-track, intense rotating thunderstorms called supercells. These storms can produce torrential rainfall, severe winds, hail, and most concerning of all, intense tornadoes. Noting the risk for severe weather, the Storm Prediction Center denotes a level 4 out of 5 moderate risk for the area, including the risk for strong nocturnal tornadoes. The environment is primed. All that is needed is a trigger. Storms would initiate in northeastern Arkansas and slowly organize as they drifted northeast. One of these cells would organize into a powerful supercell and around 7 p.m. produced its first tornadoes. Locals and storm chasers would observe several brief, weak tornadoes, including 2 on the ground simultaneously as the storm approached the south side of Jonesboro, Arkansas. Racing off to the northeast of Jonesboro, the supercell would produce its 5th and first violent tornado. The tornado would cause its first damage at 7:07 p.m. Central Standard Time, inflicting minor EF0 to EF1 damage early on before quickly intensifying to EF2 strength. The tornado then intensified to EF3 strength as it struck the city of Manette, causing severe damage, injuring many, and claiming its first life as the storm impacted the Manette Manor nursing home, causing significant damage to the structure. The tornado would continue to cause severe damage as it impacted the town of Leachville, Arkansas, and claimed another life as it destroyed a Dollar General. The tornado fluctuated in intensity as it crossed into Missouri before abruptly becoming violent as it approached the town of Hayti, causing EF4 damage and claiming 2 more victims, one of which was tragically a 9-year-old girl. The tornado would again become violent after crossing the Mississippi River into Tennessee, impacting the town of Tiptonville, where 3 more would perish. The tornado would claim its final victim as it impacted the town of Samberg before finally dissipating at 8:36 p.m. Central Standard Time after traveling for more than 80 miles and claiming 8 lives. This tornado, with estimated peak winds of 170 miles per hour, received an EF4 rating. Following this EF4, the storm began to cycle as it approached the Kentucky border. The tornado would inflict its first damage near the Woodland Mills area before racing off to the northeast and rapidly intensifying as it crossed the border into Kentucky. On approach to Casey, Kentucky, the tornado became violent, sweeping many structures off their foundations and badly damaging the fire department. The tornado claimed 1 life and injured several others before exiting Casey. Damage here would peak at low-end EF4 intensity. The tornado continued its track to the northeast, carving in deep scour marks and trenches into the ground, indicating it was still extremely violent. The tornado continued to inflict significant damage as it drew closer and closer to the city of Mayfield, Kentucky, a city of more than 10,000 people.
The debris ball is now coming into Mayfield. Send some prayers to Mayfield right now. Let's keep our friends in prayer.
The tornado roared into the southwestern fringes of Mayfield around 9:25 p.m. at EF4 intensity, obliterating several well-built structures, sweeping their foundations clean of debris and shredding a candle factory to the ground with more than 100 workers inside, resulting in 8 deaths and numerous injuries. With it now clear that a violent tornado would hit the heart of Mayfield, the National Weather Service issued a tornado emergency. At 9:26 p.m., Mayfield was swallowed by the ferocious winds of the tornado. The twister directly impacted the downtown area, destroying several well-built multi-story buildings as it carved its way through the center of the city. Businesses and residences alike were swept away into the deadly vortex as debris was lofted to more than 30,000 feet into the air. 22 would perish before the tornado's wrath had finished with the city. Inflicting high-end EF4 damage, the tornado exited Mayfield and drew its sights on the city of Benton, where another tornado emergency would be issued. The tornado would ultimately spare Benton, passing just to the north of town. However, in doing so, the tornado closed in on the small community of Cambridge Shores. The tornado would slam into the lakeside community at 9:57 p.m., sweeping away many homes and inflicting EF4 damage before crossing into the land between the lake's recreation area and leaving a trail of deforestation in its wake. After crossing the lakes, the tornado began to close the distance to the town of Princeton, prompting another tornado emergency to be issued. The tornado would impact the south side of Princeton at 10:17 p.m., devastating the Golf and Country Club community where many homes were destroyed, with some being completely swept to their foundations. The tornado would reach EF4 intensity here and claim 4 more lives before exiting the town, carving deep cycloidal marks into the earth. The tornado then approached the town of Dawson Springs, again prompting yet another tornado emergency as the mile-wide wedge roared into the town. At 10:32 p.m., the tornado made a direct hit on the residential side of town at EF4 intensity, flattening entire neighborhoods and shredding buildings down to their foundations. An apartment building here would be dismantled down to just a few interior walls on the lowest level, and several industrial buildings would be seriously damaged. A photograph from one of the homes in Dawson Springs would be lofted by the wrath of the twister and was later found more than 120 miles away in Indiana. 14 would tragically perish here before the monstrous winds of the tempest moved on. The tornado continued on its track, impacting a few other small communities to the northeast of Dawson Springs at EF3 intensity, flattening or completely sweeping away many poorly built structures, while rapidly closing in on the small community of Bremen, where the National Weather Service had issued another tornado emergency.
Tornado emergency for Bremen, Kentucky. The National Weather Service in Paducah has issued a tornado warning for northern Muhlenberg County in south central Kentucky, southeastern McLean County in northwestern Kentucky until 11:15 p.m. Central Standard Time.
As the tornado approached the north side of Bremen, it suddenly intensified to near EF5 strength, obliterating several well-built structures and sweeping their slabs completely clean of debris. Trees sustained severe debarking and denutting. The ground was scoured. Several vehicles were thrown and the debris from slabbed homes were windrowed through the farmland by the violent winds. Footage of the monster tornado was captured by Eddie Knight as it passed just to his south. Continuing through Bremen, the tornado would sweep away several more homes, scouring the foundation and driveway. Several poorly constructed residents and manufactured homes would be completely destroyed and swept away as the tornado finally left Bremen, taking 11 more lives with it. The tornado weakened after leaving Bremen and would continue at EF3 intensity, impacting a few other small communities as it tracked to the northeast. The supercell began to cross into less favorable conditions as storm coverage increased and its inflow was interfered with. Tracking for roughly another 40 miles through a mostly rural area, the tornado began to gradually weaken before finally dissipating at 11:48 p.m. near the Rough River Dam State Park. By the time the sun had risen on December 11th, thousands had been injured and 95 had lost their lives. The Western Kentucky tornado made up a vast majority of the casualties at 57 and had traveled for more than 165 miles in roughly 3 hours, leaving catastrophic damage in its wake. The daylight would reveal town after town after town had suffered devastating losses. In one evening, an invisible horror had changed the history of this region forever. After surveying the damage caused by the Western Kentucky tornado, it was determined that the twister had peak winds of 190 miles per hour, earning it an EF4 rating. The poor construction quality of many of the homes in this region and the fact the tornado occurred after dark certainly contributed to the tragically high death toll, becoming the single deadliest tornado since the Joplin EF5 10 years earlier. Perhaps the most haunting aspect of this tragedy was the fact that many of the people in the path of the storm were well warned and were fully aware of the disaster that was roaring towards them. However, many had nowhere else to go and were forced to ride out a violent tornado in their homes. I can't begin to imagine the horror of knowing such a calamity is racing towards you and you have nowhere to hide. When a town is hit by a violent tornado, it's never the same again, but time can help heal the wounds. 6 months later, I would revisit the track of this historic tornado to find that nature had already begun to undo the damage brought by the twister. To my surprise, some of the homes in some of the hardest hit areas have already been rebuilt. However, most of the impacted areas are still reeling from the destruction and are going to need help with the recovery efforts for years to come. The path to recovery is going to be slow, and many of the scars of that night will never fully heal. But with time and hard work, these communities can bounce back from that tragic night in December.
Okay. 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 Okay.
Oh, I can hear it. Large tornado, large tornado. Lots of debris in the air. It's about to cross I-55. This is I-55. Large tornado about to cross I-55.
it on.